players who really excel at Artist. And before we get too much into Artist here, we are loading into the very first set, the first match where we will have Zaka on the Plague. And we're loading in here and we see the Corrupt over on the top side. Getting our puke onto generators right now as well. And
Zaka, he's already got a very easy 4-gen there on the top side, possibly even a 5-gen, because there's another one just like kind of sort of in the middle, but not really.
Which is a good call out, by the way. Thank you for that. That's something that I didn't have time to address while I was talking, so thank you for that. I'm glad that you caught it before I did. But we do have our first chase starting onto Gustavo here, which finally getting the infection after the window vault and opting to leave. Just trying to get as many people infected as possible, which is honestly, in my opinion, a good play to make on the Plague, honestly, Prion.
Yeah, so when you play with this Thanatophobia, you kind of want to play a little bit slow. There's not really any reason for you to commit super hard to a chase early. You want to spread as many infections as you can, and before you actually commit to anything, you want to see if you can get that maximum Thanatophobia debuff. As he's already got 2 people infected here, every uncorrupted generator was puked on so far. So now Chase continuing on to Gustavo at the shack. Zaka thinks that he can try to get this shack pellet out of the way here. Gustavo will make it back to the window there, tries to mind game it, but no, Gustavo not dropping that pallet just yet. But now shack pellet going to go, and you know what, Rob, that was a pretty good chase from Gustavo. A lot of time wasted there for Zaka.
Absolutely, and you know, honestly, going into this, that's exactly the kind of mindset that Sinners needs to have. They need to have good early chases, because, I mean, Plague, she can really, you know, lose a bit of pressure in the late game. So if the early game is extremely strong on the Survivor side, then that late game becomes even more pressuring on the Plague. And it looks like that's what Sinners is really, you know, gunning for here, which is nice to see, because they're going to want to take as many sets as they can from Nokron, because Nokron right now has not lost a single set or matchup point. So getting these wins out from under Nokron will definitely take them down the leaderboard here, which is exactly what Sinners is going to be aiming to do for sure. Oh,
yes, so Corrupt Purge coming out here hits Bucky over the minecart there, and let me take a second to explain to you why Zaka just took that Corrupt Purge. He's noticed that 2 survivors on the side of Sinners have refused to touch any infected generators so far, which means that they've been playing slow, rotating down to the bottom side, and getting on those generators that were maybe either corrupt or puked on first by Zaka so that the infection would run out. Zaka noticed that Gustavo and Bucky, the infected survivors, were the only ones that were aggressively trying to work those generators that are right in the middle of the map, the most important ones. So since he knows that Jason and Zoob are playing really slow, he wants to speed up the game by taking Corrupt Purge and kind of force Sinners to do something and disrupt their kind of steady game plan.
Which is a great thing to point out. Thank you very much for that, Prion. And, you know, this is not a great spot to be hooked in. I mean, this is right in the 4-gen that Zaka has. It's a really good spot for Bucky to be hooked here. So Zaka is pretty content with this, I would imagine. You do not really want to be hooked in a 3 or 4-gen. That will definitely be very difficult to not only unhook, but also to make any gen pressure happen in this area at all. Because, I mean, honestly, at this point, Sinners can do any generator they want outside of this 4-gen, and there's not really much that Sinners can do about it at this point if Zaka is able to hold this area really well. And that's exactly what it looks like he intends to do, honestly, Prion.
Yeah, really, really interesting perk there on Jason. He's got Breakout. I wonder if we'll ever see that come into play here, as Zaka is going to be kicking that middle generator again. And Rob, I feel like that generator is getting really up there in the regression events. It's had Eruption used on it multiple times, as now it looks like Zaka going for the tunnel out onto Bucky. He did go second stage there. Jason playing for Bucky's life. Can he help him survive a little bit longer here? And it's actually going to be going back towards the middle of the map. Good play there from Sinners. They need to use these strong tiles to keep Bucky alive. But this is a TL wall, not a very strong tile, Rob, and Bucky's going to go down there. Maybe even looking for a snowball here is Zaka. No, he's just going to secure his first kill. at 2 generators remaining there. So Sinners really on top of things, doing the generators, getting themselves as much as they can in exchange for Bucky's death. Still not ideal for them, but good gen progress.
Absolutely. Also, I wanted to highlight a couple things here. First and foremost, we'll highlight the firecracker, just because that happened most recently. And the firecracker and flashbang blind radius is different. It's not what it used to be. You can't really get blinds from those angles anymore. You used to be able to, but now it's been changed. It needs to be a lot closer to the killer in order to actually have that blind go off. So unfortunately, that was just doomed to fail. It was nice timing though, and it was a good attempt, but just all for naught, unfortunately. And secondly, also I like that play that Jason made earlier when he was taking a protection hit for Bucky with the walking, because when you walk, you actually do not gain your infection at all. So that was a really nice play from him. That way he wasn't a one tap when he was taking a hit for Bucky, which is really nice. That was a great move right there.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you can exploit against the Plague at home in your own matches. You do not gain infection while walking, so if you think she's trying to run up on you and hit you right as you get fully infected, just walk a little bit. So Jason now in chase, and I believe that's against the Corrupt Purge here. Yeah, that's going to be the second pool taken from Zaka. Jason on the Z-wall. He's just going to get M1'd, though. Lasted a little bit longer than I would have at the Z-wall, but that's going to be Jason put up on his first hook. And notably, Zoob was able to stealth down to the top side and is working that main generator. It's going to be up to Gustavo here to save Jason. And that is a tall order because Gustavo is full infection. If Zaka goes anywhere near that area, he is going to find this coughing, injured survivor. And looks like Gustavo is safe for... No, he's not safe now. The Corrupt Purge comes out, and Zaka was invisible there because of the hook bug. So, yeah, so I guess we switched the camera, like, as Zaka was hooking, and he turned invisible for a little bit. So Gustavo gets found, and gonna force Zoob to come in for the unhook and get infected as well.
Yeah, I'm just glad that the Plague wasn't facing. That would have been terrifying. But, yeah, really nice to mention that. It was definitely probably a bit of a jump scare for our viewers as well, I imagine. But, yeah, that being said, Zoob does get into chase. Full infection has not come in just yet, but I mean, definitely delaying, wasting time for Zaka here, which is exactly what Sinners should be opting to do for sure. They want to make sure to stay alive and chase as long as possible. That way, their teammates can get generators done. But we do still have 2 generators left here, Prion. So with a 3v1 in play at the moment, it's going to be a bit of a tall order, but I think that they can do it, honestly. I've got some high hopes for Team Sinners here in this matchup.
Yeah, so Zaka now, he wants to protect this middle generator, finds Gustavo again, and he, you know what, he still has a 4-gen here, which is crazy. They were able to break the most dangerous generator in the middle of the map, but like I said at the beginning, there's still another generator that's like sort of mid-map, and that's the one Gustavo's been working here. Jason now on that same generator as Zaka is going to be finding Zoob at the main building. He's got a pretty strong window here, but the pallets are used, so Zoob going to be triggering his lithe, I believe that was, and going back around the side of the main building. Will he make it another time, though? I believe Zaka's going to be getting bloodlust here, and survivors are doubling to try to get as much gen progress as they can. Zoob trying to make this filler pallet, and he is going to make it. Waves there, tries to go for a little mind game, eventually drops that pallet, but I think Zaka is going to get this with the bloodlust. Nice little fake there from Zoob, going to buy him a few more seconds. Oh, wow, he makes another fake. Zoob, you got to go for the vault this time, buddy. And he is going to eventually go down, but man, that chase is going to result in the 4th generator being popped for Sinners. Nice mechanics there from Zoob, kind of showing off the 1v1 ladder skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to highlight that, really, because that was a very good chase from Zoob there with like little to no resources. So really, really well done by Zoob. Just staying alive long enough for, Jason and Gustavo to pop that generator. That was really, really important. And now they have an even taller order of... No, Gustavo did not miss the skill check. That was a pain resonance. But still frustrating, I would say. But, yeah, it was really nice that Zoob was able to last that long and chase. That was really important. And getting that 4th generator done, really nice to see that, honestly.
So now that they've shaved 2 of the most dangerous gens off of this 5-gen on Suffocation Pit, they are left with a classic main 3-gen. So unfortunate for Sinners. They're going to have to tackle this 3-gen around the main building with somebody on the hook in the 3v1 with everyone infected by Plague. So Jason trying to path away from the killer here, trying to bait Zaka away from the hook, and Zoob is most likely going to be going second here, as it's going to be Gustavo working on that generator. Now, probably going to be chased off of it soon, but it seems like Zaka, he just wants to bounce between the active generator and the hook, prevent Jason from getting this save. Really wants Zoob to go to second here, as we see Gustavo just standing on the hill, unsure of what to do. As, okay, now going to be leaving, and Zoob going second. Jason coming in for the save here, and this is a really tough spot to be in for Sinners.
It definitely is, and whether or not they can make this last generator come out or not, I'm not entirely sure, honestly, Prion, because Zaka is putting up a lot of pressure. He still has a pretty decent gen split here that's in his favor, for sure. I mean, they did get rid of the most dangerous generator, but there's still 3 really close by generators, so going to be a very difficult situation to break this 3 generator setup over here by main, especially since all of the pallets are gone at the moment. Jason taking the death as far away as he can, but not too far away, unfortunately. It's just, this is really difficult to break this, honestly. It's not really a discredit to Sinners at all. This is just a very difficult situation to pull yourselves out of, honestly, especially in the 3v1, honestly, Prion.
Yeah, and Sinners already did well enough to break those 2 generators in the middle of the map. It's just a really tough situation with the way the generators are spread here, and of course, when you have a skilled killer player like Zaka, they're going to recognize what this setup is, and they are not going to let go of it. You're never going to see Zaka committing super hard to the shack side of the map when he's been gifted a gen spread like this. So it's going to be Jason put up on his second hook there, and Zaka is just free to play around this hook. Actually, Gustavo comes in for the save. Kind of a secret there, as Jason going to now be in chase for his final chase of the match. He will make this main window, but I don't believe he will make anything else, as Zaka around the side of the main building. Yeah, Jason, you don't really make anything else here. So just count your days, and that's going to be third hook for Jason. Zoob is working a generator, but I mean, he's not going to have enough time here. Zaka can just walk right over. He's only about 40% on that gen, and interesting here, we've got boil over flip-flop here on Gustavo. Oh, but he's going off the hill. Gustavo, you're boil over. What are you doing? I guess he's going back down to the bottom side to get maybe picked up by Zoob.
Oh, that was a very sneaky little play there by Zoob. Unfortunately, he does get found out, but it was pretty nice to see what happened there with the urban evasion. Unfortunately, yeah, I think this is going to be the 4K at 1 generators remaining, honestly, Prion. And it was a very tough battle. I mean, honestly, still anything can happen. The match isn't over just yet. I mean, Zoob could make the most incredible play of his life, or Zaka could opt to go and get his power.
Yeah, very Zaka nice just wants to make sure here.
That's absolutely right. Yep, that is going to be the 4K at 1 generator remaining. That was a really tough battle fought by Sinners. They did their absolute best. But, I mean, with that tight of a 3-gen, honestly, there's just not really much that you can do. And with Zaka protecting this 3-gen as well as he could, they were able to get 1 generator in that whole 4-gen done, which is still quite the, quite the coordination there from Team Sinners. But it's just really unfortunate to see that was just not able to come to fruition. But they did fight really well, really hard. Credit to them for sure.
Yeah, and I would still maintain, Rob, that was a 5-gen with the one at this double window that Zaka's walking through right now. So Sinners, they really did well to get down to 1 generator there in the end. A lot of teams probably would have folded there and gotten 4K 2'd or 4K 3'd. And Sinners here, they just got to keep their heads up and remember that anything can happen when the generators respond in on one of these eye-shaped maps. This was Nokron's pick, and their killer player might have an even better time. So I would say impressive coordination that they were even able to do those middle generators at all. And so seems like Zaka now just unable to find Gustavo. He's doing a little bit of hide and seek here. Zaka does not seem to know where he is. If I remember correctly, he was crawling up the middle of the map towards the shack side. And, okay, no, he's just sitting there hoping that Zaka will find him at this point. But with tenacity, it's a little bit difficult sometimes. That perk silences you on the ground, nearly, almost. It's a really underrated perk.
It definitely is a very underrated perk. He does find him. Crow kind of gives away his position.
We're going to have flip-flop here as well. I wonder if he's going to try to wiggle off.
No, he's not, but that would have been pretty funny, honestly. We do love our horsey perk. Not when I'm playing killer, though. I gotta say, it's a very annoying perk when I'm playing killer. But, you know, credit to Zaka. He did a great job. 4K at 1 generators remaining. And also credit to Sinners for getting 4 generators done on one of the tightest gen spawns on this map that I have seen, honestly. So they did a really good job. Just bring it down to 4K1. And, you know, maybe the gen split will be even tighter for the next match.
Yeah, so 4K1 for Zaka. Welcome back to the Suffocation Pit, everybody. We have Sinners now on the Plague, looking to meet or beat that win condition set by Zaka, the 4K1. As we Jason here admiring his gen spread, as he does have a potential 4 gen to defend on the bottom side of this map. Definitely not what we saw last time. It's just kind of flipped over to the other side of the map. So we Jason here looking for his first survivor, and to no surprise, the survivors of Nokron are playing this extremely slow stealthing edge map, and the only survivor that is kind of reasonably where the killer might look is somebody with a nice little exhaustion perk that they could use at the shack to get some distance. So Zaka here on the Z-wall, Ivan as well on a different Z-wall edge map, and we Jason so far unable to find anybody except maybe Zynox, who I think wants to be found, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got the build ready to go just to, you know, be able to be lasting longer in chase with Lithe, and then also the new rapid response perk coming in from Marilla. So that's, you know, that's definitely the survivor that Nokron wants to have in chase first, if possible. We do have another survivor with Smash Hit, so that's also a very possible, you know, a possible chase right there. But, I mean, yeah, so playing it slow in this early game, definitely a good idea, honestly. I think it's really going to make we Jason have to commit to something. And, you know, the moment that we Jason does find a chase, the rest of his team is going to be hopping on a generator almost immediately if they can without being found out. So this first chase is definitely going to be pretty important, honestly. And yeah, it looks like Zynox can kind of been within the terror radius a few times now, but we Jason really not checking Shack very thoroughly, honestly.
Yeah, and Corrupt Intervention is gone now, and Zaka has made it all the way to the bottom, or to the top side of the map without getting found. So this is really good for Nokron, as V Jason has still yet to even start a chase. And now the Corrupt Intervention is gone. Survivors are working gens. Zaka finally found in chase, and he's going to be chasing here on the top side of the map, which is notably not where that 4 gen is, Rob. So honestly, really good play here from Nokron, hiding out the entire Corrupt Intervention and forcing Wee Jason away from the 4 gen. Now he realizes that this isn't where he should be, and it's just going to leave Zaka to get passively infected. He needs to find somebody on the bottom side of the map here.
Absolutely. It's extremely crucial because you don't want to give up this 4 gen that you have. It's your best asset in this entire match here. And if you give it up, then you've got nothing to work with against a team like Nokron, honestly. So they're going to need to... Wee Jason is going to need to protect this very heavily and make sure that he catches chases and ends them as close to this 4 gen as possible. And if he's able to get a hook here, that will be extremely pivotal for Sinners to take advantage of here. So I don't blame Wee Jason for kind of just camping around this area here, trying to find something. And that tells me right there that Zaka is likely working on a generator that's infected. Because he let his entire infection build up all the way. You don't gain it if you walk, But if you are interacting with something that's infected, or you infect something and continue interacting with it, then you will get fully infected. So Zaka's definitely working on a generator right now. So that's going to be some important information for Jason right there.
Yeah, and you know now that Zaka, as the only infected survivor, it's just going to be working topside generators the entire game. These other survivors here that aren't infected just yet, they're holding on, playing really slow, making sure that they don't get found here on the bottom side of the map. Because if they do touch an infected generator now, they will get found. And this is just a really disciplined strategy coming out from Nokron. I would almost wager to say that as Zaka finishes that gen on the top side, that Zynox, Ivan, and Marcos are going to wait for the infection to run out on those bottom side generators before they even touch them, because they don't want Jason to even have a clue as to where they are.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the smart play right there. That's a very good heads-up play, in my opinion. So making sure to wait until the infection runs out. I mean, that's what you should be doing, playing this extremely slow, because Jason, unlike Zaka, is not forcing the game to speed up at all. He's got one infection on the board, and that's it. There's really been no chases at all, except for the one on Zaka, which ended with Zaka only just getting an infection, and that's it. So Jason is just pretty much protecting his 4gen as heavily as he can, which I completely understand. And with that being said, honestly, we got to mention this, by the way, Prion, excuse me. This is already the slowest first down of the entire season. We are over 5 minutes into this match and no down.
I wouldn't be surprised with how these survivors are playing. Zynox now going to be chasing up at the shack. This window is infected, so he might not actually want to use it. Going over towards the shack now. Actually, you know, he is going to take the infected window, activate his Lithe, and he's actually got that Aurela Rose perk there. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that shows the killer's aura when you get exhausted.
Rapid response right there.
Yeah, rapid response.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier, and I had to make sure to call it out, because we've seen it a couple times now. It is definitely a good perk. It only gives you 2 seconds of aura reading, but that might be actually some of the most important 2 seconds of your chase, honestly. So I've been running to the top side, I believe, trying to take the chase as far away from that 4gen as possible. And I mean, Jason does have a pull there. I don't think he's going to grab it just yet, but this chase being taken over to bottom side or top side is not what Jason really wants. He is going to take this pull. It's the furthest away from his 4gen spread over by bottom side, which in my opinion is a smarter move since you're already over here. But you want to get back to your 4gen as soon as possible, Prion.
Yeah, and I can't help but wonder if this pool is taken too late here. Jason has already allowed Nokron to just like extend this game out so long. They've been getting such passive gen pressure on this on the map, and you can see that Zaka's about 80% on a gen somewhere. Corrupt Purge coming out again, it's going to miss, and Marcos just continues to disappear further and further into the top side of the map, where Jason just doesn't want to be chasing. He's not really going for these guaranteed shots on the Corrupt Purge, and he's going to get pallet stunned. The power is gone. He went for the M1 there, and Marcos called his bluff, takes away the Corrupt Purge as another generator is going to get done. Now Marcos, he is going to go down through the pallet, but the damage is done. That Corrupt Purge is gone, and I don't think he has more than one pool remaining, unless... Is Zaka about to cleanse?
It does not look like it,
okay,
no.
He's just getting on a gen. It just looked like he was running directly towards a pool when we flipped to him there.
You know, Prion, we got to mention it. Last match, the down came in at 2 minutes and 28 seconds. There was about a 5-minute gap between the first down and this down. 7 minutes and 13 seconds. That's the longest down in DBDLeague history. And that is insane, honestly. It's not just a discredit to Jason and how he's playing. It's also the fact that Nokron was stealthing extremely hard. You know, they were making some very stealthy plays, making sure not to get found when they were making the rotations to the bottom side of the map and the top side of the map. But I mean, that's an incredibly long down. And now we do find another chase onto Zynox here, going to take the chase to the LNT wall. Unfortunately, does not make it through. But I mean, you spent so much time outside of your 4gen, I'm not sure how much can really be gained from this right here. Oh, but now we're getting downs to be stacked over on the bottom side, and that can actually turn around into a bit of a negative for Team Nokron here, Prion.
Wait, yeah, this is starting to look pretty bad for Nokron. They need to pop 2 more generators to get this win condition. And guess what, Rob? All of the generators they've done were outside of the 4-gen. They haven't actually touched the 4-gen yet.
Oh, that is not good. That is not what you want to see. And it looks like, yeah, there is some progress here. It's very minimal though, and I mean, Eruption hasn't been set up yet, but Jason is protecting this 4-gen quite well. And once he's able to get this Eruption set up on this generator that Zaka's been working, it's, you know, there's quite a lot to lose here, especially with all the gen progress, and now 2 people on the ground. One gets picked up in the distance, that being Zynox. But, I mean, there's so much to be lost here, and Jason is doing a very good job of keeping hold of this 4-gen. But it looks like he's going to leave chase on Zaka. Zaka's just going to go right back to his generator and finish it. It is very close to being done, so Jason needs to do something about that.
Yeah, if you don't get Zaka here, he's just going to continue to be existing over there on that gen. And I can't believe you're not going over to Zaka there because he's in a dead zone. Like, all you have to do is walk him down and hit Corrupt Purge once. Zaka is going to finish the most important generator on the map here, and Jason just left him on a filler pallet. I can't believe the reasoning for that. In a dead zone there, no resources except that one filler pallet. And Marcos is going to die on hook, actually, which is pretty crazy that nobody went and got him while Zaka was in chase around the water tower.
Yeah, I think that Nokron's thought process, honestly, just from watching, spectating, is the fact that they wanted to get gen pressure up as much as possible in the 4-gen, and I think that if anything, they wanted to save Marcos last second, but once Jason came back and protected the hook and didn't commit to Zaka, that's when they knew they should just leave him on hook and, you know, just commit gen pressure, honestly, which is a good idea in response to what's been happening here. But, I mean, if he's able to start getting downs to stack up in this 3-gen that's left by Shaq, then there's just a lot that can be lost on Nokron's side here.
Yeah, and Zaka has about 60% progress on a gen here, but it's just not going to be enough because now Jason can just walk over there and apply the Eruption to it. Zaka is injured in the 3-gen here, only has the Shaq window to play, doesn't fall for the fake Jason, and he's just going to down Zaka in the back of the map. And man, Rob, it is looking like we're going to get a tie here for Sinners.
It does look like that, honestly, which is the best you can hope for at this point, honestly, because Nokron did actually get that 4th generator done. So now we're at a tie at the moment. So hopefully Sinners, this is what they're hoping for right now, is getting this tie condition to follow through. They need to make sure that Ivan and Zynox and Zaka are not able to finish any more generators. They need to be hooked, and nothing else can happen in favor of Nokron.
Yep, Zynox playing the check spots there on this short wall jungle gym, forces Jason to break that pallet. Now over to the TL wall. He is the one with the Lithe, so he might have been able to make it further away there, generate some distance. Zaka is going to get picked up by Ivan, but now, I mean, all they have to do is play the Shack with no pallet, nothing, and he's just going to try to play the window as long as he can here. Loses sight of the killer for a second, and I think that's because Jason is now more interested in Ivan, who was working a generator. There really isn't a generator that's directly over by the Shack, besides this one by the hill. So there's 2 generators closer to the middle of the map and then the one back here. So you would think that the survivors would be working this one at the Ormond tile here because it has more access to the safer side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past Nokron to be each working on one individual generator. I mean, that's the best thing you can possibly do. Eruption will be a hard counter to that for sure. But if there's no down that comes in that time, then there's not really much that can be said about that. But this down does come in onto Ivan, who's on the exact opposite side of the map right now. I think it would be a good idea to leave him slugged and just put up pressure right now. But that does leave Zaka to be working. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Jason here, he does not believe that there isn't a survivor nearby in Zynox, and that's because he knows that Nokron is a smart team. and that if Ivan is running all the way down to the top side of the map, that he knows that Nokron has already pre-rotated somebody to pick up that slug. So finds Zynox there at the main building, but he's actually going to leave and allow them to get that pickup because he's afraid of the gen progress that Zaka is putting down, and for good reason. Look at this gen, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually kind of surprised that Eruption wasn't put onto this gen earlier. So that being said, we are finding Zaka here, who is on Shack right now, opting to leave it because there's no resources left in the area. So a good move by Zaka here, but this down is likely going to come in soon. And Zynox and Ivan were on the opposite side of the map. You know, they just got the pickup, and you know they are definitely rotating to the other side of the map now to get progress on these generators. But I mean, once the down comes in and the eruption comes off, I mean that's just another slug on the ground. That's no more pressure on the generators. They're gonna have to get it back to where it was, and I mean after that, there's just so much really to be had for favor in Wee Jason right now.
Wee Jason needed that down on Zaka there. That keep in mind, those filler pallets are being played on 150 to 200 ping, and Zaka was able to force Wee Jason to leave him there. As it looks like Zynox is going to get pulled out of the locker here. The generator is being doubled. There is no pain res in play, and that is going to be Nokron winning this set. Just exquisite survivor play from them, Rob. I mean, the discipline here, not getting caught in these dead zones, making it down to the bottom side of the map, making it not worth it for Wee Jason to continue chasing you. Just really amazing survivor play from Nokron. And now the any means fake coming out from Ivan. Very stylish, as we really can't overstate how good this survivor play was from Nokron. Like, look around us on the bottom side of the map. What do we have? Shack window, a TL, one filler pallet over by the water tower, and they were able to make something out of those scarce resources and pop a generator from a 4-gen to get the win con.
Yeah, and also notice that Zaka and Zynox are cleansing. They're wanting to take stages out of the door now. They don't even want to just get the win between Zynox and Zaka leaving. They want to get Ivan out of the gate too, which is definitely, you know, the best result they can potentially get here. Nicely done. They dodge out onto the Corrupt Purge. Oh, taking the injury here. Almost a down as well. Oh, hoo-hoo! That is so close, and there comes the down. Zynox does go down here, and we do also have what appears to be Zaka here as... No, that's Ivan, actually, sorry. It's hard to tell when everyone's got green puke coming from them. But we are getting downs now. Zaka's still... Yeah, Zaka's going to take the out. That's your fresh hook survivor right there. Getting him out of the door is the best thing you can do right now.
Yep, so Zynox going to get picked up, and looks like Wee Jason's going to be taking the kills onto Zynox and Ivan, but Nokron is going to win the set for the Plague and go up 1-0, maybe closer than they imagined it would be since this was their pick. Wee Jason put up a really good effort here. It was quite close. A few times he really did have an opportunity to take Nokron survivors down, notably if he would have just won the 50 at that filler pallet and downed Zaka, Eruption would have hit the gens, and I feel like he would have had a serious chance to secure the tie.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Nokron pulled out a pretty good win here, but just like you said, Prion, it was very close. I mean, this could have gone either way, but I mean, there were just little things that could have been done differently that Wee Jason honestly had no way to really know about at the moment. So, really good job from Nokron playing this out the way that they did. They were able to take the win, and now we will be transitioning over to our second set of the evening, which will be the Hillbilly. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded into the second set. The first match with Wee Jason on the Hillbilly, and he's already zooming to the opposite side of the map to find his first chase. And Prion, we've got to point out the build. We have Hex Ruin, Hex Crowd Control, Corrupt Intervention, and Eruption. A very, very classic build on Hillbilly. We've seen a lot of these perks very often on Hillbilly, so it's no surprise at all that we have this build going on.
Yeah, and we Jason here, his plan is going to be to just be zooming around the map as fast as possible to get a lot of value out of this ruin. Goes for a curve. Marcos forced to drop the pallet there. Another curve coming out. The firecracker is going to force we Jason to look away a little bit there, and Marcos dodges out on that curve again. Another curve coming out, but we Jason now leaving Marcos, going over towards a different generator. He does see the ruin activate there. He is going to find the no mither survivor here in Ivan. Does he actually want to commit to the survivor with no mither? As pallet going to be instantly dropped there by Ivan. We Jason going for another curve, just going to actually abort that curve and go for the pallet break. So we Jason here, he's actually committing to the no mither survivor. Another curve here, and Ivan goes wide, dodges out on it, and makes the pallet. Amazing chase here from Ivan. Great mechanics here against the Hillbilly, but now he's going to lose the 50-50 and get M1'd. So great first chase there from Nokron, and a flashlight save going to miss there from Zaka. Unfortunate. That was pretty close, just a little bit too late from Zaka.
That was very unfortunate. That was quite close. It could have landed if he was just a little bit closer and ready to go for that flashlight save. But yes, something to point out, by the way, because sometimes people can be curious as to why we have a no mither survivor in Hillbilly.
Hold on here, Rob. Hold on here, Rob. Zaka in danger here with the deliverance. This is really bad if he goes down.
Yes, very good point there. He does have deliverance. If he goes down, there's no use of deliverance in this match whatsoever. So, nice dodge out there. Pretending to go wide and then bringing it right in at the last second. Oh my goodness, what a good chase so far from Zaka. It's really important that he stays alive, because if he goes down before he's able to get the unhook onto Ivan, then there's no deliverance in this match at all.
They sent another survivor. They sent another survivor here, but Zaka is still the one that goes down, so potentially no deliverance. Yeah, he's gonna get picked up there. And I guess their plan was to send Zynox in to maybe confuse we Jason about who was actually wanting to get the unhook, but it just doesn't end up working. Zaka is going to be traded out there on the hook. No deliverance, but 2 generators are going to be popped so far.
Which is definitely good news for Team Nokron here, but yeah, that no deliverance anymore in this match is really bad news, honestly. And nice dead hard from Ivan here. Really good. I mean, what else could we Jason really do? He was getting close to the pallet. You want to try to get that down. But, I mean, at the same time, really crucial that he hit that dead hard. He's a one-tap. And also, by the way, if you're wondering, why do we have a no mither survivor? Well, that's because with no mither, you can pick yourself up infinitely. So, one very common tactic on these Hillbilly matches is to slug all survivors at high gens left. And with no mither, you can't do that. You're forced to pick them up. Otherwise, they're able to pick themselves up and get back into the game infinitely, unless you hook them. So, no mither was actually popularized by, if I remember correctly, Xeno on Team Elysium, who caught on to this trend of Hillbilly matches and made that decision to bring no mither in to counter that. So really good.
And I believe it was Xeno that was starting the trend of just slugging everyone on the ground as well. So it was like he created the disease and the vaccine at the same time.
Created the problem and then the solution. Typical corporate business right there. Very well done by Xeno there. So that's great news right there. That being said, we Jason trying to find Ivan, I imagine, to progress that tunnel out, or Zaka. Does find Zynox here, but I mean, without a tunnel out at the moment, not too much to be gained from this chase here.
Yeah, it looks like we Jason here. He's gonna find Zynox in a dead zone. Does not make the pallet there. And going to go for the pickup here. Probably no pallet save. I don't think he's actually in the pallet. But that's actually going to be the decisive strike coming out from Zynox. Now that's why he would have wanted to take that chase. As we Jason just going to break that pallet up. Now at the broken truck. Going to go for the window vault here. No lithe though. He had lithe in the last game. But now we know that Zynox cannot have dead hard. That was on Ivan, and another generator is going to go in the distance here. So great efficiency so far from Nokron's survivors. And we Jason, he was not able to get the early tunnel out here. His ruin is still active, but that's really all he has, along with the crowd control, which we haven't really seen do much so far. These survivors, once the window is blocked, you see them kind of going towards just a different tile, a different palette. And we've even seen like Zaka slow vaulting windows to prevent the crowd control from activating at all.
Which is really smart. I mean, once you know the perk is in play, you want to make sure to not allow it to get as much use as possible. So it's a credit to Nokron's survivor play. They've been doing this for quite some time, so it is, you know, it's definitely something that they have really been fine-tuning over the years in their survivor team play. And you know, without having all 5 stacks of, you know, crowd control being used yet, it's really nice to see that coming in from Nokron, because you put this challenge up against any public team, and this is the kind of build that would make them fold instantly. This is not an easy thing to counter, so it's a really big credit to Nokron for really finding a way to counter this.
I think in most public matches, a stiff breeze would cause a team to fold. But you're right, absolutely, Rob. That these hillbilly matches where the hillbilly has these hex perks and kind of is everywhere at the same time is quite difficult to counter. As Zynox going to go down again, no more decisive strike here, so this is going to be danger for Team Nokron. Another hook here onto Zynox, going to be Wee Jason's 6th hook. Zynox is going to be dead. So this is actually looking pretty good for Wee Jason. Can he keep a handle on these generators with the Ruin? If Zaka almost gets cross-mapped there, barely able to dodge the curve, but he's still going to go down. We know there's no dead hard because it is on Ivan, and that's going to be another hook for Wee Jason here. And looks like Sinners might be coming back into this game. And notably, Rob, they have not cleansed a Ruin. Zaka also dead into the 2v1 now at 2 generators remaining with Ruin still up. And there's no thrill of the hunt here. I'm shocked that they haven't cleansed Ruin.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think something that I noticed with Ruin still in play is typically more so the fact, this could just be speculation more than anything, but once you cleanse Ruin, Eruption's now in play. And I think that Team Nokron wants to avoid that Eruption coming into play. Unfortunately, that tree was just a little bit wider than it led on to be. But yeah, they want to make sure to not have Eruption in their game. Either that or they couldn't find it! Oh my goodness, Yvonne panicked and he dead-hearted, I'm pretty sure. I am pretty confident that Yvonne actually dead-hearted that. Very solid performance by Wee Jason here on the Hillbilly. 4K'ing Nokron at 1 generator remaining. That's a pretty solid result, honestly. So really well done to Wee Jason. A lot more of that was really his skill than the build. So yeah, incredible job by Wee Jason here, 4K'ing Nokron at 1 gen left on the Hillbilly. And I'm curious if Nokron's going to be able to pull off the same result or better on the Hillbilly.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Sinners down 0-1 in this series, this performance from Wee Jason is exactly what you need to kind of get yourself back into the game, get the momentum swinging back in your favor, and now all Sinners needs is their survivor side to perform, and we'll be tied up.
Absolutely. So if they can, if Team Sinners can keep this pressure going in on their survivor side, things are looking really good for Sinners right now. They actually have a pretty reasonable chance, and this is something that you and I talked about earlier, Prion, is the fact that I think that this Hillbilly match could be a big change in the shift for Nokron's favor here, and going into Sinners' favor for this Hillbilly match. So that's something that you and I talked about earlier, and you know, it looks like it's actually coming into fruition here. 4K at 1 is a pretty good result on the Hillbilly. Now, welcome back, everybody. We are loading into our second Hillbilly match with Zaka on the Hillbilly, and Team Sinners has a lot on their plate here, and Bucky almost taking a cross-map snipe here. I don't even know if he makes it to the pallet. He does, just barely. Wow, that was insanely close for the beginning of this match here, Prion. That was really close.
Just barely dodges out on that overdrive chainsaw as well, Rob, as now he's stuck at this split bus tile, not where you want to be, but he's actually going to win the mind game there. Curve coming out, not going to land either, as Bucky successfully makes it away from that split bus over towards another tile now. It's just a TL, but he is going to make the window, and that was narrowly avoiding disaster there on the part of Bucky.
Yeah, narrowly couldn't be more stated right there. That was insanely close. This is why I love Hillbilly sets, by the way, Prion. That kind of insane, chaotic nature right there of these sets makes it just so fundamentally interesting. Gustavo almost taking it down, just barely dodging it right there. Very nice to see. And it looks like Team Sinners is opting to cleanse totems here through Thrill of the Hunt, by the way. A very interesting change in how both these teams are playing this, by the way.
Yeah, Ruin gone already, and I think, honestly, that's the most important one to take away. As a pallet going to be thrown and broken there for Gustavo. Now back towards this bus tile. I don't think he makes this, though, as, yeah, he's going to Firecracker to buy a little bit of time. Chainsaw is going to miss, but M1 going to come down, and Gustavo, the No Mither survivor, is going to be hooked first. As looks like pretty decent progress here so far for Sinners. They've got 2 generators at about 70% progress and no ruin on the field, I think is the most important thing here. So when Zaka is choosing to just be zipping all over the map, leaving those generators is not going to cause them to regress. He has to take the extra time to put Eruption on them. So I think Sinners, as long as they don't give Zaka any cross-map downs or snowball or anything like that, they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, absolutely, they're in a good spot. This is, you know, having Ruin out of the match. I think it was very lucky that Sinners was able to find the Ruin totem more than any other totem here. And, you know, also the first down came in about 16 seconds later than the first match. So that's also really good news. Gustavo not even about to go second stage yet, and it looks like we're looking for a save here with Lee Jason rotating for the hook. So
and Zaka here, he's calling out Sinners and basically saying, I don't think you guys can get this save. I don't think you guys are good enough and coordinated enough to have the gen pressure to properly punish me for face camping here. So as Gustavo is almost going to be going second stage here, and remember, this is the No Mither survivor, Rob. So I think Zaka is kind of issuing a call out here to Sinners that he is going to get this tunnel out, and he's inviting them to do something about it.
Absolutely, and it's very important that you say that as well, that this is the No Mither survivor. So now, unless they have Unbreakable or Soul Guard in play, there's no picking yourself up once survivors start getting slugged. So that's really important, honestly. And Zaka here is in a very dominant spot very early in the match. If Sinners can combat this with good gen pressure, which they do have good gen pressure around the map, then they can tie it up and potentially even win. Especially now that Ruin's out of the match and Zaka is forced to stop and kick generators, then, I mean, this is okay. Zaka threatening the chainsaw down here, but we Jason taking the down. Eruption goes off in the background. That is really unfortunate.
And that's going to chew on the ground for this trade. Zaka, exactly what he expected to happen there. Sinners comes in for the save, not wanting Gustavo to die, and they just pay for it, Rob. And he goes down through the pallet as well. That's 3 on the ground. I just said before that Zaka is calling them out and saying, I don't think you can correctly save this, and they absolutely could not.
Nice.
As the DS is going to come in, but Sinners stabilizing here as all 4 survivors now picked up. Gustavo in his final chase with the decisive strike, and actually really good pathing there. He doesn't stay at the main building and goes around to this next filler pallet instead. So Gustavo here in his final chase. How long can he last here? Rob, this chase is so important. Gustavo needs to last a long time as the curve is going to come out. He holds W away from the tile, but it's just not going to be enough. Zaka there. He doesn't go for the blind curve. Instead checks one more time to see what Gustavo was pathing towards. That is going to result in his first kill. But there's 2 generators remaining. One more is already the tie for Sinners.
Yeah, I mean, Sinners is in a pretty okay spot right now. Despite losing Gustavo, they have, a lot of gen pressure around the map. This one's almost done. And there's no Ruin in play anymore. Zaka only has Eruption left in his pocket to really regress generators. Unfortunately, that hitbox was just a little bit too wide for Zaka to pass through. But, I mean, Sinners is not in a bad spot right here, honestly.
Yeah, so now Zaka going to be going around the map, putting Eruption down on these gens. He can afford to play this a little bit slow. as long as he's got Eruption on every gen and can commit to a down when he sees one. Now, that was a really far chainsaw there. He is going to find a survivor here. It's going to be Zoob on this car pallet. Almost. It's curved there. Nice crouch there from Zoob. These double cars are so dangerous against the Hillbilly since he can slide off of them. And another curve coming out now from Zaka. Zoob goes wide, though. Very nicely done, as that would have been devastating with the eruptions on all of the gens. As, that one's still regressing. Now he needs to find where these survivors might be doubling, or even if they're doubling at all. Needs a down here, does Zaka, as those eruptions are crucial. Does not want to lose that win condition here. Will allow Sinners to go for the tie. Possibly a balanced landing being activated here from Jason at the main building. Just wasting a little bit more of Zaka's time. It's going to be another eruption placed down here. This is such a precarious situation for both sides, Rob.
Oh, the next generator gets completed. That's really good for Sinners. They are at the tie condition. They have several generators around the map, Prion, that have high, at least mid to high progress. And, I mean, no one is giving Zaka an easy down. So this is really good. I mean, I say that, and then Zoob goes down right after that. Cast a curse. I'm so sorry, Zoob. You were doing phenomenally in chase.
You can't flare them all, Rob, so Zoob is eventually going to go down after such a good chase before. And Zaka now has aura onto the other survivors, so he's surely going to know what to do next here. But the progress on the generators is what's important here.
Not only that, but also another important thing to note here is that Nokron will not be taking the set point. Sinners has issued a tie. Now, what needs to happen for either side is either to get one more generator done, Sinners takes the point, or Zaka is able to slug everyone and then finish the match out. Oh, nicely done from Jason. The plot twist. It's always so funny, but it has such a good purpose as well when it's used in this fashion. And that is to force Zaka into picking. That way, Jason does not get a free, easy heal by laying on the ground long enough with plot twist. So he has to pick. Otherwise, I mean, Jason just gets up and he's full health. So that is not
Jason. He can do that as many times as he wants, as long as he doesn't fully pick himself up, too. So that's going to be huge here for Sinners.
Absolutely. And it's really, really important to note as well that they have a good gen spread. And despite this killer being the Hillbilly, who is, you know, able to go from one side of the map to other in mere seconds, catching Zoob here out on the God filler here, and a nice fake. Zaka actually bought that fake. That was really well done. He takes his distance and leaves. Zaka has to leave. He can't stay there. He needs to protect these generators. Oh.
And they're staying on it, and it's done. Sinners takes the Hillbilly set right out from under Zaka's nose. Bucky sticking the generator with Jason on the hook. And wow, just amazing survivor play here from Sinners. They're going to be tying this series up 1-1. And what did I say in the campfire chat, Rob? These guys have been on the upswing. They've been forcing ties out of the best teams in this tournament, taking wins, evening themselves up in the standings. And Sinners looking like they might be going for an upset today.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. Sinners has more of a chance than I'd say a lot of other teams here. Even the top teams. Sinners just played so phenomenally. Very nice dead hard from Bucky. It's interesting that...
Oh, that was actually a soul guard, not a dead hard.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, that was soul guard. That's a really good thing to point out. Yeah, well done. They're even getting stages out of the door. What? Against Zaka's Hillbilly? That's insane. Sinners did a phenomenal job this match.
Wow. I am speechless at the survivor play from Sinners in this match. I mean, I want to hear some noise from the South America region in chat here for your team. Sinners is really putting on a great performance today. One to remember if they can actually get closer to this upset. As Zoob going for the door. Don't think he's going to make it, though. Is going to flare around. 99 sprint burst. He's into the door. No way. Zoob has to dodge one more chainsaw.
Oh
he can make it out here. What? You cannot be serious. Zoob is out the door after dodging all of those chainsaws with a 99 sprint burst as well. Little wave, and he is out of the trial.
I am also speechless. Stages got out of the door today against Zaka's Hillbilly. That is ridiculous, Prion. What an insane performance from Team Sinners. This is exactly the kind of upset that they needed to start it, and I hope that they can maintain this trend, because that is a fantastic look for Team Sinners right now. That was incredible.
It's not going to get any easier for Sinners, though, Rob, because you know what we're going into next? It's going to be Nokron's pick of the Unknown.
Match of the Unknown set with Zaka on the Unknown, and honestly, Prion, after that upset with the match, with the set point taken by Sinners for Hillbilly, I think that Team Nokron is going to want to come into this with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, Zaka here lining up his first UVX. It's going to land onto Bucky. That's a good start, but he's going to need a lot more than that if he wants to get a 4K on this killer. So Bucky trying to remove that weakened. Second shot comes in, and it's going to land there. Nicely done by Zaka. Exactly what you need on this killer. You cannot miss here. As Zaka, he knows that this is a pretty low percentage shot if he goes for it from long range. And he's able to zone Bucky into the broken truck. Goes for the bounce, and the UVX blast is going to land. So honestly, perfect start here for Zaka on the Unknown. While we're in a little bit of a downtime here, Rob, as an Unknown main, what is your favorite weapon?
Oh, my favorite weapon, huh? You know, my favorite weapon probably has to be the axe that came from the real-life Fairy Tail skin. It's a really cool skin. Second up, though, I would have to say the Eyeless Woman. The Garden Shears are really cool. Big fan of those. I have both those skins. I use them pretty often. And third up, I would have to say probably the Prestige 3 Fire Axe. So, huge fan of those. I do like the Warped Wrenches. They are very cool. I don't use them as much as I do the other three that I just mentioned. But now, what about you? What are your favorite weapons to use?
I'm a big fan of the Broken Bottle, actually. As a wow, nice little cleanse there on the hallucination, and Zoob caught in the animation, but I think that interaction that happened there, as an Unknown main, I can actually tell you what happened. Zoob had actually just finished the Dispel right as he teleported, so he didn't get weakened there. He is going to take a hit, as Bucky going to get unhooked here, and Zaka now going for the tunnel. Doesn't go for the vault there, and that was actually a nice down there onto Bucky. Second hook stage coming in here for Zaka, as Bucky going to get picked up, and not a lot of gen progress for Sinners so far, which is not looking good for them. They need to do something to stop Bucky from getting tunneled out here. If you actually let this killer get a tunnel out, suddenly becomes very oppressive. As yeah, oh geez, Jason getting weakened up there, needed to path a little bit further away from that shot, and you can't. It's really not a good idea to let this killer like get weakens and then leave before you can dispel them.
Goodness gracious. Zaka is landing some shots really close by, and also he's been hitting quite a few UVX blasts. So that's really impressive. He's doing a fantastic job right now. This is a pretty dominant performance and an early start for Zaka here. Also, we didn't mention this, but the first down came in at 41 seconds, which is a very fast early down for the Unknown, honestly. So really well done to Zaka. And it seems like Team Sinners, they need a little bit more practice facing the Unknown, because Zaka is just catching every single UVX blast, it feels like.
Yeah, and Zaka going for a tunnel out on this killer, I feel like is really sending a statement. With this killer, the consensus among the top players is that he is not strong enough to get a tunnel out. So with Zaka camping Bucky to death at 4 gens, getting that tunnel out, I feel like he's essentially telling Sinners, I'm just better than you, and you're not going to be able to stop me from tunneling someone out on this killer that by all means is weak.
Yeah, which is, you know, a pretty bold statement if you ask me. But coming from Zaka, can you really blame him? Especially after losing that Hillbilly set. I mean, you've got to hand it to him. He's definitely going to be coming in with a fierce confidence in this match here. And, I mean, these UVX hits all coming in. Oh, very nice try. That's worked before in some of my matches, but sometimes it's just the geometry of some of these tiles where it just doesn't allow it to work as well as you'd expect it to. But, I mean, all things considered, really nice job from Team Sinners right now, trying to get the most gen pressure they can, lasting in this chase here. Unfortunately, Bucky just wasn't able to really do a whole lot this game. So, you know, as much as what's happened so far, they are getting generator progress, and they are lasting in chases, so that's really good news for Sinners.
Yeah, so Jason now doing a pretty good job at this edge map filler palette. Zaka is going to zone it though. Jason might make it back to this window. There is a hallucination there though. Jason sees it coming and is able to path away from it. So nice job there from Jason to buy a little bit more time. He doesn't have any resources here though, so he's going to need to get some gen progress for this. One is going to be done off in the distance. Jason going to be downed in the comp corner here. So pretty good job for Sinners bringing that back, but we're still in the 3v1 against the Unknown at 3 gens remaining. That is going to be another gen popping. So good job from Sinners. They are going to need a lot more though to salvage this game. Like if they can get down to a 4K1, that would be pretty good for them all things considered, but then they have to play Unknown against Nokron, which is like just extremely terrifying.
Yeah, a very, very tall order indeed, especially after this early start for Zaka. A very rough early game for Team Sinners here, and also finding Gustavo out here as well. Not the best thing to happen here for Team Sinners at the moment, and getting this unhook onto Jason is going to be very pivotal, I would say, Prion. And also Gustavo needs to last in this chase, otherwise, nicely done. Zaka does take the M1 onto the pallet. Unfortunately, whoa, wow, he just kind of zoomed right around that corner with the M1. Well done by Zaka getting that down pretty quickly, but also, I mean, oh, that's a terrifying sight there. Interrupting the heal while carrying a survivor on your hands. Pretty terrifying sight, honestly. I can't lie.
So fresh hook there onto Gustavo, and now Jason in chase with one hook stage on him. And this is where the gen progress is going to grind to a halt for Sinners. Only Zoob can really be working a gen right now, and Jason going to be actually left to go somewhere else. They might be able to finish one more gen here if they can get good progress going, but like I said, 4K1 against the Unknown is still not good. Really not what you want to be putting onto your killer player here in Season 10, where the trend is that Unknown is just very weak. As Zoob going to be dodging out onto that UVX shot. Nice job there, but Zaka does not want to commit. He doesn't need to. He has this hook to play around. He knows that Sinners doesn't have very much progress anywhere. He can set eruptions down and go back to the hook. He's really controlling this area here. Jason can't exactly come in for the save because he's injured, and they want Zoob to be working a generator, but he can't without letting Gustavo go to second.
Yeah, and it's very important that you mentioned that as well. I mean, this is such a well-held area by Zaka here, and I mean, Jason is working a generator off in the distance at about 20% progress. Gustavo goes second hook, and now Zaka can go out and pressure the map more. So, I mean, I think, like you mentioned, all gen progress is really going to get stalled out here. And it looks like Zaka did just place a hallucination next to the generator that Jason was working. So that's just another thing for Team Sinners to have to worry about is the hallucinations and the teleports. So unless they're able to cleanse those rather quickly and get back into chase, then that's just, you know, another order for them to have to deal with.
Yeah, Gustavo, nice pathing there. He's going to dodge that UVX blast once again. Final chase here for Gustavo. Seems like a little bit indecisive here from Zaka, whether he wanted to chase Zoob or Gustavo. He's got the Shack pallet here. Now, yeah, who is Zaka even on here? It's going to be Jason here with one hook stage on him in chase at this filler pallet. UVX coming out. It'll land. So weakened now is Jason, and smart teleport play from Zaka there, going away from Jason to not let him cleanse that weakened. Another weakened there onto Zoob. It's going to be increasing the cooldown of the hallucinations once again as follow-up UVX comes in. Nice pathing there, and no, it's just not going to be enough. Gets the bank off of the pallet wall there. That's going to be the down onto Zoob. Final fresh hook here for Zaka.
Oh, and Jason's generator takes his Scourge in resonance as well. That's the last one of the match that's available here. Nice dodge out from Jason, but he's going to take it down in this corner over here, unfortunately. And I think that Team Sinners just doesn't really have any more generators left in their cards for the future of this match here. The slug is coming out onto Jason, and Zaka's going to opt to go and try to slug everyone. Like you said earlier, Prion, the 3v1 against Unknown is very dangerous. That was a nice shot, by the way.
He fired the UVX projectile between the gap with the locker and the tile to make sure that the blast zone would hit Gustavo.
Yeah, that's a scary thing to see against an Unknown, honestly. These shots coming in so well. Oh, don't hug the corner too tight.
Don't hug it. Do not hug the tile, Gustavo. He barely dodges out on that blast. Going to make it back to the shack here, at least this pallet, as Zaka going to weaken him up again. Starting the same song and dance as Gustavo. He wants to get rid of that weakened, but he can't. Another eruption placed down onto the hill generator here. Zaka continues to try to juggle this pressure. He does not want to let another generator go here, getting the strongest possible win con for Nokron.
Absolutely. And also another thing that's important to note here, by the way, is, oh yeah, it was just a little bit too... He didn't aim that far enough into the window there. I've had that happen to me so many times as well. It's really frustrating. But another thing to note here is the fact that this is, in fact, a high-risk, high-reward killer. And you can see the amount of times that Gustavo's had weakened placed onto him. And once he's able to remove it, that chase is just extended. So even with someone who's as experienced and skilled as Zaka, he's going to have frustrating chases once the weakened is able to be cleansed. If you can last long enough to get your weakened off of you, that chase just extends a little bit further, honestly. So nice to see that they're able to last and chase long enough to make that happen, because this is extremely crucial right now, Prion.
Yeah, and it looks like Zoob gonna get found here. He's got another filler though. Takes the weakened, going to be running back around the side of that car, actually pathing away from the tile here. Wants to go over towards the bus. UVX shot comes out, and is Zoob going to dodge out on it, running back into the killer there. Makes a little bit of time. Hallucination coming out. Can he make it back to this other side of the split bus?
Oh.
He just barely cleanses the weakened in time. Zoob lasting a little bit longer here, but he's weakened up once again. Actually, Zaka now going to be leaving that weakened on Zoob, going over to Gustavo now on this filler pallet. He's going to take up another weakened and continue to play this filler pallet. He needs to be able to path correctly here, but actually, is Zaka just going to leave again? No, he's going to go for another shot. Banks it off of the pallet. It's not going to land, though, and we're starting to see why the Unknown can be such a frustrating and stressful killer to play when these shots aren't landing.
Absolutely. And, I mean, yeah, they're doing a great job right now. Zoob has a generator almost done, actually, and he is weakened, so that's a bit of a danger. But if they can call this out well, then there's not too much to worry about. This hill generator outside of Shack is about 75% progress. Really nice to see that for Team Sinners. They need to get these gens done as much as possible. Otherwise, they're gonna lose this set point and not really have
lithe there. No lithe for Gustavo because of the Hypnotist Watch colliding with the UVX initial projectile. But that is going to be a gen completed there as Gustavo goes down. So get down to the 4K1 here for Sinners. And now they're going to be doubling up Shack. Rob, do you think they have the time to finish this?
I think it's possible. No, never mind. Not possible anymore. That was, and Zoom takes the down with the UVX. That is so unfortunate. Yeah, I think that this is a 4K at 1. Yeah, 4K at 1. I mean, it was very hard fought, but what can you really do? You know,
yeah.
The less survivors in the game, it's hard to really work generators at all. But Unknown is actually, it's almost like he's exponentially stronger once survivors out of the match compared to other killers. That level of pressure just really dramatically increases with the Unknown. So, yeah, well done to Zaka.
Kind of similar to something with Pinhead, where he's got something to his kit that once there's one less survivor, whereas Pinhead, now you're in the 3v1 and you still have to do the box. With the Unknown, it's kind of the same with the cleansing hallucinations, because if you're not on top of getting rid of those, his pressure just increases exponentially. Like, how different do you think that last generator would have been if one of them had actually cleansed the hallucination in their shack?
Much different. He would have actually had to physically walk over to Shack or teleport to the next closest hallucination.
Lose here, of course. Jason here on the Unknown, loading into the match. Different build here from Zaka. He's got the Pop Goes the Weasel this time, as lining up his first shot up onto the hill there. Gonna bounce off the rock and just not land. But that's going to be an instant bounce landing from Zaka, and maybe not something that Jason wants to commit to. Yeah, not able to get the weakened there as well. But Shack Pallet removed. I would say that's a decent trade for Jason, as he can just find another survivor here in the non-corrupted area.
Absolutely. One of the things with firing UVX is that it's such a slow projectile. So when you fire it, you need to really make sure that you're understanding where it's going to land and kind of send it almost as if it's like one of the ranged killer's abilities. Because it's not going to fly as fast as Deathslinger's Redeemer. It's not going to fly as fast as the Hunter's Hatchet, but it is going to, yeah, it's going to take some understanding of how it works in order to fire it. And yeah, oh man, Jason's having a tough time here getting a UVX shot here. It's not looking too good in the beginning. The first down came in at like 41 seconds. Nice shot there onto Zynox, but he needs to follow it up with another UVX shot. Otherwise, this is not going to be a great early game for Jason here.
Yeah, oh, Zynox there, dodging out on that blast area. And Jason here, he needs to kind of hide from Zynox if he wants to have a chance for a follow-up shot here. Not going to land either. He's going to this broken truck, which means that he might be able to eventually get the M1 down here. There's not a lot of anything. Oh, okay. I'm shocked that weekend wasn't cleansed, Metal or Rob. Like, what? Surely. He had a chance to shoot 3 UVXs at Zynox there. That is not normal for Unknown.
Yeah, not at all. I think a lot of it just goes to the fact that Jason was staying hidden from Zynox's sight in order to prevent him from breaking out of his weekend too much. Oh, a double UVX weekend. But they're going
to be sticking it.
But, I mean, this is a little bit dangerous, no? That can result in a few different injuries coming in pretty quickly. But, again, Jason has to capitalize on that and actually make it worth something, because you can get all the UVX weekends you want. If you're not following up with the hits, then there's not really much to be gained from that. And also, another thing to note, Nokron finished 2 generators. 1 pain resonance stack has been used, and 2 generators popped. That is not looking too good. The first down came in a little bit later than Zaka's did, at 1 minute and 39 seconds, compared to Zaka's 40-second down. So not a whole lot of pressure here on Jason's side. He needs to do a lot in very little time here.
Yeah, I mean, 2 generators are already done for Nokron. This is looking pretty bad for Jason. He really needed that Pop Goes the Weasel on that hill gen if he wanted to stay in this game. He's going to get the down here, but like no eruptions, no Pop Goes the Weasel has been used, and no tunnel out either. Zynox is safe, he's being healed, and they just need to pop all of the gens, which against the Unknown is really not the biggest deal. He does seem to have some idea of where that reset was going on, as he's going to be finding Ivan and Zynox here. Ivan would probably rather be chased. Yeah, no hook stages on him. He's cleansing this weekend off in the corner of the map. Might have a chance to shoot 1 more UVX. No, it's not enough. When you miss that first UVX, that's just a death sentence for your chase on the Unknown, as he's just going to have to be satisfied with the M1, and Jason teleports away.
Important to note that Ivan still does have a shred of weekend applied to him, so if there's a nice mortar shot coming in from far away, that can actually still result in a down on Ivan here. So important to note that it still could be used later. Highly unlikely, but it's still possible. That being said, we do have a couple of injuries on the board, and I mean, Jason still does have a lot that he needs to do, but not a terrible start so far. He's got 2 hooks, but he's going to need to 4K at 2 gens left. No, there's no room for mistakes here, Prion.
We are 1-1 in this series, so it is possible for Jason to succeed in forcing a tie here. Got to keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
So Zaka with the balanced landing. He's going to make the shack window there. Nice pathing out of Zaka. It's like Jason choosing to commit to Zaka here at the shack. He's probably, he's going to make this car pallet here. Tries to path around that UVX, not going to work. So Zaka, weekend up now. He's probably going to have a teammate playing with him now in Zynox with 4 survivors alive. They can afford to just go for body blocks here, and that's going to allow Zaka to cleanse his weekend again. Just brutal here. Just that Zaka just gets maybe, I don't know, maybe not respecting the swing there at the pallet. He did stun Wee Jason earlier in the match on a similar play. And yeah, 2 generators. Very high progress here for Nokron. I think it's all but decided that they're going to be taking this set.
Yeah, it's looking very dangerous for Wee Jason right now. I think they are pretty much there's not really much that Wee Jason can do at this point. Oh, wow! Nice job from Marcos there. Nice little interaction there for getting that generator done. I mean, if you're not, oh, nice teleport from Wee Jason there. I mean, you're still looking to do the best result you possibly can. But, I mean, what can you really do against Nokron's Survivor team? They are extremely well versed in facing the unknown, so this is not really surprising to see them taking the set point.
Yeah, so nice job there from Nokron. I mean, this is what we expected. It's their pick, the unknown. They're going to be going up 2-1 in this series. So now it's going to be up to Sinners to kind of force another tie here. And it's not what they wanted today, but they do have another tie already against Invictus. So forcing ties against these top teams in the Season 10, it's definitely something that Sinners can succeed with here. Now, it wouldn't be great for their record, but it would ruin Nokron's perfect record if they can win this artist set.
Absolutely, and that's what we see next after this unknown set it has now finished. So now that we are at 2-1 to Nokron and Sinners, we have an opportunity to tie it up with 2-2 for Nokron and Sinners. And I mean, honestly, Nokron being such an experienced and skilled team, I'm honestly predicting that they are able to take this set point too. But who knows? I mean, Wee Jason is still putting up a really good result so far. He's doing a great job for his team on the killer side, and their survivor play has been nothing short of amazing so far as well. So really giving Nokron a run for their money and not letting them take free set points at all.
Yeah, so with that, the unknown set is done. We are going to be going to a quick break while we set up the final match of this series, which is going to be the artist on Azarov's resting place. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a little bit to see if Sinners can tie up this series.
Of the Nokron versus Sinners matchup, we have the Miss Fuchi skin, which is probably my favorite skin out of the entire Junji Ito collection. So that's really cool to see that coming in. And for the first time, I would say, in this entire matchup, Zaka has a lot on his shoulders at the moment. He did have quite a bit on his shoulders during the Hillbilly match, but this is going to mark their potential matchup loss or even tie. So something really big can happen, not only in the favor of Team Sinners here, but also against Team Nokron. This could be their first matchup loss, which is a huge deal for Zaka, I imagine.
Yeah, and Bucky here almost wanting to be chased as he sprint bursts out into the open against Zaka around the backside of the pallet gym. Does he make this? Zaka shoots the bird and gonna get the injure there. Bucky, that's not really what you want in your first chase. He's going to be running, Rob, he's running away from the corrupt intervention. I'm not really sure what Sinner's plan is here, as now he's stuck on this edge map tile.
Oh.
Bird taken away by Gustavo. Nice team play there. Gustavo is going to take a hit for Bucky. Now back to the T side of this wall, and with the rapid brutality in play, he doesn't make this. That's going to be a quick first down for Zaka.
That is a very fast first down indeed. Actually, coming in at 1 minute and 17 seconds, which, by the way, apologies, folks, you didn't see it in the previous match, but the first down in the last match came in pretty decently early too. 1 minute and 20, so it's pretty close, I would say, to the first downs in both matches. With Wee Jason's coming in just a little bit after, shortly after. So Zaka's got a lot he needs to do. He cannot by any means allow this to be a 4K0. And yeah, we're finding the severed hand value onto Bucky here. But in the last match, the first survivor was camped out. Zaka was camped out to the second hook and almost even death before he got saved again.
Yeah, and Bucky here, he's going to make the shack pallet there. Forces the break out of Zaka. Needs to dodge this follow-up bird, though. He's got a teammate to try to take the bird for him, but Jason only able to get rid of one of those birds when Zaka placed two. So that is going to be another down onto Bucky, and Zaka just inching closer to securing this tunnel out, which is going to be exactly what he needs here to secure the 4K1. Again, he must secure the 4K1. 4K0 here is a win for Sinners because of the penalty.
Yeah, and it's really important to note that because there's so much on the line here with potentially tying that, because there's no tie that's possible at this point with the penalty. But that being said, Gustavo or Bucky did waste a lot of time for Zaka with that chase after being unhooked so quickly, and two generators pop as a result of that. So really nice gen pressure so far from Sinners. They are doing a great job of making sure that Bucky's hook time doesn't go to waste here. And Zoob bravely working a generator in Zaka's face, not really contesting it at all. The save does come in. And
actually, the bird was too early there. It's not going to swarm Bucky at all.
Yeah, which is really nice to see because, I mean, that gives Bucky some more time to... Oh, and the other bird was taken too. That's so good. Unfortunately, Bucky does go down, but like so much went well for Sinners in this first, couple of chases. Zoob and Gustavo are doubling a generator off in the distance here, and Zoob leaves it. Gustavo stays and works it. But, I mean, wait, no, that's two separate gens that are being worked at the same level of progress. So, yeah, really, really good gen pressure from Sinners at the moment.
It's good gen pressure from Sinners, but Bucky is dead. He really needed to last longer in that chase. I mean, he had good pathing there around the pallet, but eventually you need to drop those pallets and trust your teammates to take care of the birds for you. Zoob, nice pallet stun there onto Zaka, going to make it into this part of the map that hasn't been touched yet, as this next chase is everything for Sinners. If Zoob goes down quickly here in the 3v1, Sinners is going to be really in a bad spot as Zoob takes an M1, running back towards the middle of the map now. He has a dropped pallet here and one window, going to be pathing away from the tile over towards the broken truck with Zaka. I feel like he makes this here. Yeah, just going right up onto the hill, and that is going to be the down onto Zoob. This is starting to not look very good for Sinners. We're going to need to see some gens completed very soon if Sinners wants to pop them all here in the 3v1.
Absolutely. Also, it's very important to note because this was actually mentioned before the stream had to be restarted. The reason why we are in a penalty for Team Nokron right now is because of the fact that Zaka actually brought in the wrong perk for the survivor side of the match. So that's why Nokron is currently in a penalty, and we've talked about it so much since the stream was able to restart. So just for people at home who are asking why is there a penalty on Team Nokron, we didn't see what happened before the stream got cut off. That's why we are in a penalty right now. I saw some people asking in the live chat, so I wanted to make sure to address that really quick. That way people know. And yeah, like you said, Sinners is in a bit of a difficult situation here with everyone being injured at the moment besides Jason. And we're in the 3v1 against Zaka's artist. It's going to be very difficult for Sinners to make anything happen from here. But if they can manage to bring it down to a 4K0, which is 3 generators away from now, that would look pretty good.
I would say this is a really bad position for Sinners. Just like the Unknown set, they allowed the tunnel out to happen way too quickly. And now they've got so many generators left to do. Zaka has all of the control here around this hook. And Zoob and Jason, they just don't have enough time to do the gens to even get close to this win con. As Zaka is content to camp out Gustavo in the middle of the map here. He knows that somebody is somewhere around here, but it's got to be Jason, as the injured Zoob is not going to be the one coming for that unhook. It would take a monumental throw for Zaka to not meet his win con here.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, we do find Zoob over here working the hill gen. He does take some distance off to the comp corner, but it doesn't go very far. I mean, with all of this being said, like you mentioned, Sinners is in a very rough position at the moment. They don't have a whole lot to work with. Zaka's done a great job getting Bucky out of the match very quickly. So it's just very tough for Sinners to do much of anything about this.
Yeah, bird going to land there onto Wee Jason, and you can't be getting hit by those cross-map birds in this set. It's up to the person on the hook to calm that those birds are coming in at all, and that was an injure, cross-map injure onto Wee Jason there, and that's going to be even more pressure for Zaka, just heaped on top of Sinners, as now the injured Gustavo is found in the comp corner, and Rob, this game is over. Just as I was just saying that you cannot let those cross-map birds hit you on the gen. Zoob on the hook needs to be communicating that those birds are coming in, because you lose so much time when you have to repel or go find a locker. And that's going to be the death onto Gustavo. The generator is going to be completed in the distance by Wee Jason, but it just doesn't matter. Zaka, just too strong of a killer performance here, just snuffing out all hope for Sinners of forcing this tie. Is almost certainly going to be a 3-1 scoreline in favor of Nokron now, as they preserve their perfect record.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like they will be taking this matchup point. Very well done to Nokron. I mean, they've done it time and time again, but we have to seriously give some really big props to Team Sinners here for putting up such a good performance, specifically in that Hillbilly set. They did phenomenally there, crushing it on the Hillbilly set, and it just left so much more to be desired on the other sets because of how good they did on this Hillbilly set. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to put up the same amount of pressure in the other 3 sets. It's just leaves so much to be desired, honestly.
Yeah, so that's going to be it for this trial. Sinners going to be falling to Nokron as they go up to 5-0 in the standings, exactly where they want to be if you're a big fan of Zaka or any of these other players. And that is going to do it for this first set on this Sunday. Yeah, it's been great casting this. Rob and I are going to be signing off.